Funny how the model's excited for this whenever, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly too hyped for this, but I am still curious to see how this is going to go. Especially since their first stop-motion Death Battle 2. Didn't do much research as to what's going on over here, other than Ninjago apparently scales in the multiverse tier. That's surprising. I didn't watch past season 2. Actually, no, I did watch past season 2 of Ninjago, and I just couldn't get into it anymore after that. No. I tried. I tried after season 2. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't know how much longer it kept going on for. Apparently it's gone on for really long after that. And as for Bionicle, I don't know a damn thing about Bionicle. I don't. All I know is that this Bionicle's about to be turned into bits. Well, maybe, because he could have some other powers that just, you know, nullify. Because all I know is that where they scale into, yeah, it could have some special form of power that just makes all of that irrelevant. But I guess I'll find out. Not really too confident that he will, but I guess I'll find out. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going into this not knowing much. I know a little bit about Ninjago because I did watch a lot of that growing up. I watched up to the first 2 seasons. I really liked it. And I'm going to be rooting for Kai because I grew up, because, you know, like I said, I watched that. Never watched a lick of Bionicle, so I'll be rooting for him. He's probably going to win, but hey, we'll see. Anyways, I got nothing else for this intro, so link to the original video in the description below, as well as Death Battle. They'll be linked down below as well. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump around the video now, shall we? Just like every other Death Battle reaction I do, I'm still gonna say it. I sound like a broken clock, but I'm tired of them showing clips of the fights at the beginning. I'm tired of it. I don't care if I sound like a broken clock. I'm voicing my frustration with it.
Kai versus Tahu.
Who wins in an all-out brawl between Ninjago and Bionicle? He's where's
the
my
stop-motion
boomstick?
animation.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Probably Kai, but hey, let's see.
The year was 1998 when LEGO introduced us to the world of the ninja.
Who could forget such classics as Ninpo Big Bat and Ninja Surprise? And the surprise
I
is
still remember watching stop-motion Lego videos when I was growing up. Those were really fun times, yeah.
death!
The near death of the LEGO company, in fact.
Oh.
But then, out of the shadows, a decade later, the ninja returned, remade, rebuilt.
Ninjago!
The story of Ninjago starts in the village of Ignacia. Kai was a simple blacksmith trying to get by with his sister, Nia.
Yep.
Not that he had the patience for his line of work.
Kai's fiery streak couldn't be matched. It happens when your parents mysteriously vanish.
And that streak continued when
then they
some
got them.
skeleton men kidnapped his sister, and Kai learned that within him
It's
lay...
been so long. I'm trying to remember stuff. I'm trying to remember stuff in the lore, but a lot of it's missing from me, yeah. There's elemental weapons. What was it, Lord Garmadon? I looked it up just to make sure, yeah. It's Lord Garmadon, yeah. His son, Lloyd, that's what it was, right? Green Ninja, Golden Ninja, Golden Dragons, and dragons in general, and Stone Army, snakes, yeah.
The power of fire.
Thanks
Then
to the
that.
guidance of Master Wu,
Four
he
ninja,
ditched
well,
the
five
hammer and
actually.
anvil and did what
I don't know,
any
maybe
good
there's more
brother
than 5 now. I don't know.
would do. Become a ninja!
Great Devourer, remember that too?
And after some intense training and a bit of spilled tea, Kai mastered the special technique of spin jitsu.
Yep.
Look at him go! He's like a living Beyblade!
Well, it's actually a precise use of perfect balance to deliver dozens of focused strikes in rapid.
Yeah, Tornado Ninja,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah,
He
just-
can fly, pull in foes, and summon his
It does
elemental
it is
power
kinda like
all
Beyblade,
around.
though, isn't it?
And you know what that is. Fire!
Yes, Kai can throw fireballs, resist extreme heat, form protective barriers of flame,
Yep.
and even conjure a fiery rising dragon. Basically, shifting his spinjitzu into a more
When could he do that? Like I said.
powerful draconic form.
So Kai teamed up with Master Wu's other students, Jay, Cole, and Zane, to make a team
Oh, yeah, and
of
if I remember correctly, Zane's part cyborg or something, yeah.
teenage ninjas. The Lego kind, not the turtle kind.
On a mission to gather the 4 golden
Yeah,
weapons
based on what I know, don't put those guys in against the Ninja Turtles.
and defeat the evil Lord Garmadon.
Yep, there he is.
He's the one who kidnapped Kai's sis. But hey, I've seen the Lego movie. This should be easy. He's a Lego mini guy. If he gets cut up, he just pops back together.
Nope.
Yeah,
Ninjago
exactly.
treats their characters like actual people,
Yeah.
not Lego pieces.
Yeah.
Except for in the movie, but that's part of the Lego movie continuity, not Ninjago itself.
Yeah, is that even canon to the lore or something? Well, I guess it's canon to this. I'm done trying to figure it out.
Oh, so Kai can take a hit, but he's not putting himself back together like everything is awesome.
Yeah, I guess.
Which makes his quest all the more perilous. Long ago, the golden weapons were forged by the first Spinjitzu master to create
Honestly,
the
better that way.
continent of Ninjago. Kai eventually gained the golden sword of fire,
Those things
through
were
which
so
he can
cool.
channel his elemental power. Fire.
So much so that if Kai is surrounded by a bunch of fire, he can use it all for a mega-sized Spinjitzu burst.
Unfortunately, Kai wasn't the easiest teammate to work with.
Yeah.
Eager to rescue Nia, he went it alone, until he was tricked into helping Garmadon escape imprisonment. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, bummer. But it
And
wasn't
the whole time thing with that too that I also remembered. Yeah, that was a thing.
all bad. They got all the golden weapons. And with his sister rescued, Kai vowed to become a real elemental master and prove he wasn't just hot air.
So he got to training, when he wasn't slacking off and playing video games. Befitting a ninja and a pro gamer, Kai is a master of stealth, can climb any surface, and is incredibly fast.
He's dodged lightning and is even a match with Jay, who could outrun his own elemental dragon.
Which, according to the
Yeah, that
Ninjago
was the
visual
thing I was thinking of. Like, I know we say lightning and lightning is powerful and everything, but is it really as fast as we always scale it up to, though? Because, like, you know, it's just something to ask, but at the same time, I try not to get too into it, because at the same time, it is fiction, but what do I know? Because, like, we scale some things to, you know, the speed of light, and, you know, some of those things go so fast that, you know, we really shouldn't be able to see it, but what do I know?
dictionary can apparently fly at light speed. Yes, this is an official book.
If that wasn't enough, other ninja like Cole are so strong they can shake an entire mountain.
So even as a wild child, Kai's team kept him in check across a dozen seasons.
Okay, I was, like, so curious about the quality right there. It's probably them having to get footage for showing these off, probably.
Of blocky ninja
And they were
action.
probably like, we couldn't find anything high quality. This was the best we could do.
Where
Maybe. I don't know.
frankly, nothing was off the table.
Who could forget the virtual world season? The time
Yeah,
travel.
the virtual thing. I tried getting into it. I couldn't. That was at the start of season 3. I remember there was like some virtual cyber shit going on. I couldn't get into it. I tried. I couldn't.
Travel season, the ghost season. Really anything that would sell toys.
Meaning, Kai picked up plenty of ninja gear. Swords, grappling hooks, shurikens, a motorcycle, a wingsuit for flight, but swords of fire remained his weapons of choice.
Once, when Garmadon combined the golden weapons into a mega weapon, Kai and his bros went to the past to get them back. Then pushed themselves to the limit, using the golden weapons to overload the mega weapon with so much energy, it exploded into a star.
While this did destroy the golden weapons, creating enough energy to ignite a star is absurd. For a mass to become a star, it must first cross a critical temperature threshold of approximately 4 million degrees Celsius.
And over time, Kai's fire got so strong, he could melt down those same golden weapons.
But no matter how powerful he became, Kai's hot-headedness kept getting in his own way.
Come on, Kai oozes main character energy. He was sure to get the title of Green Ranger, Green Ninja.
Yeah, about that.
One destined to be the leader of the team and take down Garmadon once and for all, right?
No.
Nope.
Kai was chosen by Master Wu, but that didn't mean he was the chosen one. That honor belonged to the up-and-comer.
I know how obsessed he was on trying to become that, but that didn't happen. But he did figure out that one of his things was to protect him when he unlocked his barrier thingy. Yeah.
Lloyd, who happened to be Garmadon's son and Wu's nephew.
Yeah.
Typical Nepo, baby.
How very Star Wars of you.
But even if Kai wasn't the chosen one, he still had a big role to play in protecting Lloyd.
In a surprising act of humility, Kai chose to guide Lloyd until he could defeat Garmadon. And the threats just got wilder from there.
But he always rose to the challenge. Kai's defeated Karloff, the Master of Metal, and trained Wildfire, the Master of Heat.
With his teammates, he took down the Great Devourer, a snake goddess that could consume the continent, and Nanakan, a djinn that could lift half of Ninjago's landmass into the sky.
And when these crystal weirdos had him on the ropes, Kai did a jump up, kick back, whip around, and spin to achieve his ultimate power, the Dragon Form.
Oh,
With this,
Jesus.
Kai gets a huge boost in power, can fight on par with demonic Onis, and can even harm the Overlord.
The what?
The source of all evil in the world, who was as strong as the first Spinjitzu master. remember? The creator of Ninjago itself.
Then, by uniting with his pals, they summoned a giant golden dragon that obliterated the Overlord. Sayonara, sucker! That's the power of found family. And money!
About to say.
Sayonara, sucker! That's the power.
Okay, I was just curious because I was the whole Zane being a cyborg thing in full view right there. Yeah.
Power of found family and money.
Kai's journey took him far and wide, where he beat the odds time and time again. Because, hothead chosen one or not, within Kai was the fire of a ninja.
Yep.
The upcoming battle is the Motion Death Battle, animated by Apartment D, the creators of Rough Danger Dogs.
Oh.
They've got a ton of awesome stop-motion animations on their channel, like this, or this, or this.
Oh,
Make sure to subscribe to Apartment D's YouTube channel for more awesome animations.
Go back.
Make sure to subscribe.
Okay, sorry. I thought it looked like Power. Well, it kind of does look like Power Ranger dogs.
Or this, or this. Make sure to.
Yeah, that's basically Power Ranger dogs neat.
Subscribe to Apartment D's YouTube channel for more awesome animations.
There you go.
It was the year 2000, and the Lego company was in shambles. Straddled with debt and risking closure, they needed a brand new idea to turn things around.
They needed something epic. Something that was Lego, but for big kids. Big kids who loved lore. Enter Bionicle!
Bionicle begins on the island of Matanui, when 6 mysterious canisters arrived at the homeland of the biomechanical Matorans.
With help from a weird stone and this little guy Takua, out popped 6 very marketable warriors. The Toa!
They were Kopaka, Gali, Pohatu, Lua, Unua, and their self-proclaimed leader, Tahu.
But what were the Toa? Tahu had no
I should mention the only time I ever really see Bionicles in any type of animation is, what was it, Pantsa Hats? Yeah, that's that's the only time I've ever actually seen Bionicles in any type of animation or anything, really. Other than the commercials they had for them on, like, Cartoon Network and everything. Other than that, yeah, I never really saw a Bionicle, yeah. So everything's about to be new to me, yeah. This dude's 7'2".
An idea. He and the others had no memory of what, who, why, where, all that important stuff. Nothing.
Choking hazard. I mean, yeah.
But even as an amnesiac hothead, Tahu still wanted to protect the Matorans from a threat lurking behind the scenes.
Lego Sauron! No, wait, not literally. I mean this creepy guy, Makuta, who just loves slaughtering the Matorans with his army of monsters.
Thus, the Toa Mata battled all manner of beasts with their elemental powers. And as the Toa of Fire, you can guess what Tahu was bringing.
Guns! Oh, fire. Yeah, okay. Even early on, Tahu
staying
could
on
shoot
brand.
fire, set his sword ablaze, melt thousands of tons of sand into glass, and even stop a volcanic eruption. But even more importantly, he surfs on lava! Oh man, that's so cool! I mean, hot.
Tahu's fire is so hot that it can reportedly melt any known substance.
Yeah, one thing I'm curious about is, do these guys have any resistance to fire? Are we about to enter a Natsu versus Ace thing, and then find out someone has a bypass of that, or something? I don't know, I guess I'll find out.
Anything. And on the rare occasion that his own fire isn't enough, he
Yeah,
can
video
absorb
game for
flames
this.
from his foes and surroundings. But it would take all his might to face Matanui's trials and gather the Kanohi masks.
Magic masks that give extra powers, and the Toa scooped up a bunch of them. With his mask of shielding, Tahu can make an energy barrier that blocks all kinds of attacks.
There's also masks of telekinesis, super strength, super speed, and X-ray vision. And from his mentor, Vakama, Tahu gained the Mask of Time.
While its power puts a serious strain on the user, it's worth the risk when it can slow targets to a standstill. Plus, these masks can be swapped out whenever Tahu wants, thanks to a cyber totem that stores them all.
Which came in handy as the Toa battled monsters across Matanui.
Like the Avoka, a beast that could fire lightning, which Tahu had to dodge multiple times.
But even from the start, Tahu was a lone wolf who preferred going solo, even if it meant leaving his Toa brethren in the dark.
Tahu tried to take on some big bads all by himself, and it went even worse than you think. He lost his powers, and he lost all the rest of his team's powers. Awkward.
But Tahu kept pushing forward, accepting his team as his siblings, overcoming his weaknesses, and rebuilding himself. literally.
By jumping into a pool of liquefied cyber juice to become the Toa Nuva. Now boasting twin magma swords and later some slick adaptive armor, Tahu can fly and use his fire and
Design-wise, so far Tahu looks cooler. Just being real. I know I'm rooting for Kai and everything, but Tahu's definitely looking way better design-wise so far, yeah.
new supercharged ways.
He can conjure fire cages, create lava pits, and steal the heat from other living beings. So much so that the process freezes them solid. As the Toa Nuva, Tahu and his steal the heat from other living beings. So much so that the process freezes them solid.
That gonna play a factor in this? Maybe.
As the Toa Nuva, Tahu and his team are among the strongest generations of Toa. Just as mighty as a much later iteration, the Toa Inaika.
Who defeated Umbra, a living beam of light. It was tough, but with some clever thinking and a mirror trap, they used Umbra's own super speed against him.
But perhaps Tahu's most impressive ability is the Forbidden Technique. The move no Toa wants to use, because the absolute annihilation that it causes is unforgivable.
The Nova Blast!
Using all of his elemental energy
Really hoping it would be something comedic and wacky.
Once, Tahu can unleash a blast so powerful that it can potentially destroy all of Motunui. Not Motunui the island, oh no. Motunui is also the planet. And not just any planet, but a living celestial being that became a planet.
Oh boy, here we go. If you think stuff like Warhammer and Elder Scrolls have too much lore, you're not ready for Bionicle lore.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't even get me started on the shattering
Okay, so how far do these guys scale?
of fierce magma and the betrayal of the League of Six Kingdoms and...
But more than any physical power, Tahu was learning that a good leader isn't just one who leads, but is willing to be led. And so, he faced Motunui's final trial, the Mask of Light.
The legendary Toa of Light was destined to defeat Makuta and save Motunui. It's obviously gonna be main character Tahu, right? Right?
No.
Of course not.
Yes, of course.
Turns out, the Toa of Light was Takua.
Oh yeah, the little guy who opened the capsules at the very beginning.
The Toa
Alright, so Ninjago and Bionicle is a bit more similar than I thought, apparently.
were tasked with guiding this new member, something Tahu found surprising, but ultimately accepted for the good of the group.
Good thing, too, because they needed to be a solid team when they finally learned their true purpose. The whole reason they were built in the first place, waking up God.
Long ago, the great spirit Motunui charted the depths of space until the Makuta Pterodax poisoned Motunui like a cancer. Tahu and the Toa were meant to act like white blood cells, protecting the heart of Motunui and, should he fall, resurrect him.
Yeah, Makuta Matata's whole plan was to amass an army, hijack Robo-Planet Motunui, and rule the universe. And he actually pulled it off.
But Tahu and his team were ready to fight back, with every generation of Toa joining together to reawaken Motunui.
Then, alongside the Toa of Light, Tahu went on an epic quest for his final toy variant. Upgrade. The Golden Armor. Screw you, Takua. He's getting a gold mask anyway.
This armor not only increases Tahu's own power by several hundred magnitudes, but also absorbs the powers of those it defeats for Tahu to use. Just in time for all the Toa to come together for the final battle of good versus evil. Motunui versus Makuta Pterodax.
Giant Planet Mech versus Giant Planet Mech. Oh man, that's awesome.
With his new armor, Tahu annihilated Makuta's forces, destroying the slug-like Krata and taking their powers, like heat vision, quick healing, teleportation, improved accuracy, and disintegration.
And giving Motunui the chance to strike down Makuta for good. Lego God was pretty spent though. But before he took a well-deserved nap, he trusted his final message and the new world to Tahu. I guess he really is the main character.
Tahu led the way for the Toa, Matorans, and all the other peoples to create a new world. One for all Toa to see, shoulder to shoulder, united in duty and bound in destiny. For that is the way of the Bionicle.
Yeah, except there's one thing they forgot to mention in the lore. Remember the Giga Chad Nibble? Remember Nibble? Anyone? That's a reference no one's gonna get. I couldn't even go fully into the bit. That was dumb. That was fucking dumb.
The battle's about to start, and this time it's sponsored by us.
And how does that work?
Because you can check out even more Death Battle on our website, deathbattle.gg. It's got cool merch, behind-the-scenes goodies, and every episode of Death Battle ever. Uncut, uncensored, unspoiled.
Why does that sound gross?
You can even pitch your own idea for a death battle to the creators of the show. I think they're called Chad and Ben. They're...
Boomstick, what did you do?
What?
You're not supposed to break the fourth wall like that. Reality is collapsing.
Oh no, wait, I know how to stop it. Everyone listen, we don't have much time. Go to www.deathbattle.gg and sign up for a membership right now.
I hate you. All right, the combatants.
That's how it's gonna go. Okay. All right. Like I said, rooting for Kai, and I think he's gonna win. But hey, we'll find out. I could be wrong. Still curious to see the whole fight and everything because, like I said, first time they're doing a stop motion one, so this is gonna be exciting. Yeah.
Are set.
See how this
Run
goes.
the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a stop motion death battle.
Yeah. Or we'll ever do another one. Possibly in the future. It just might not be as often, kind of like with the live action ones, because every live action death battle they've done is just amazing, but it most likely takes a lot to do that. Yeah, especially the last one with Blade versus Buffy. Like, whew, I can only imagine what it was like to produce all that. Oh, all right, we're jumping into it. Already in it. All right. All right.
Man, the merge brought some weird ones. Let's see what you can do. Get off this island, pal, or you'll be nothing but hot ash.
Yeah, about that. There we go. Oh, alright. Don't worry, he's got more.
Spin jitsu.
Oh, and there's that. There we go.
I will not break.
I'm loving the animation. Oh. Oh, he's just using it to heal.
Another master of fire, huh?
Yeah.
Why is it always me?
Yeah, so how's this gonna go? Because I don't remember the resistances being discussed much, but I guess I'll find out. Oh. Alright.
Time to heat things
Now
up.
we got the mask. There we go.
Ninja, go!
Do you still have that? Okay, whatever. Oh, here we go. Oh, alright, well. Gotta get his bubble thing. Here we go. Woo! Oh, you getting the mask thing on? Okay. Something happened. Nope. Oh.
Dodge this!
He just might. Or not. Okay, nope. Oh, there we go. Oh, there goes the... Oh boy. We're gonna keep on upgrading. Yeah, for the first stop motion death battle so far, spectacular. Tahu said wahoo, okay. You gonna do something, Kai, or are you just gonna keep falling? There we go.
With jump up, kick back, whip around, and spin, that's the way of the ninja!
Alright, here we go. Alright. Let's go. Oh. There we go. Oh! Oh. Is he getting the golden one?
United in duty.
Oh boy, here we go.
Bound in destiny. This is the way of the Bionicle!
Alright, here we go. Yeah, they're nailing the shit out of it for the first stop motion. Oh, is he doing it? Ah, come on, Kai.
Now or never.
Oh shit, is that the thing?
Anui, forgive me.
Yeah, you might want to get out of there. Oh, he's got his barrier thing. Actually, how strong is that?
First time for everything. Full power! Ninja go!
Alright. So much fire! I'm looking at this with an infrared sensor. Oh. There he goes. That was it, wasn't it? Yep. Yep. Oh!
Guess I was too hot for him.
I could just toss him a shade and then fell over. Oh. Hey, remember that? Hey, remember how back then we all thought that? Remember that one rule we all thought back then? The first person that powers up is usually the one that loses. We've had a couple of death battles is proving that. Yeah. Oh, the last one did that. Yeah. That was absolutely amazing, though. Like, nailed it. Like, what was the name of the guy who animated this? Hold on. Apartment D. They fucking nailed it with this. This was amazing. It was great. Oh, there's that. Yeah.
KO! Yep. No, wait, that figure was missed.
This is what he said.
KO! No, wait, that figure was missed.
This match was not.
All right, but yeah, this yeah, first stop motion death battle. Blew it out of the park. They nailed it. This was amazing. I don't want to say more, but I don't know what you would have to get for specifically for stop motion. Yeah, or at least a fully blown stop motion. Yeah, I say that because I remember there was like one. Actually, no, that okay. Never mind. I'm being dumb. I don't know where I'd rate this on the death battles out of that's been made this series this season so far, but I definitely put it in the top 5 though. Yeah, it's not the tippy top. That one's Metal Sonic versus Cell. That's still the best one so far in my opinion. But this one's in the top 5 for sure. Out of all the death battles this season so far, I'd rank it my 4th favorite out of all of them. First one, Metal Sonic versus Cell. Second one is Yuji versus Denji. And third one is Bakugo versus Rize, yeah. And then this one for 4th. Yeah. Don't ask which one's on the bottom. We already know which one is, but we're not talking about that.
Not an easy call. Let's build this set by examining their speed, arsenal, and power.
First up, speed. With all that fire spinning around, staying one step ahead was super important. Tahu could dodge Avoca's lightning, but Kai and the rest of the OG ninjas are as quick as dragons that move at light speed.
Meanwhile, the Toa Anika could not keep up with Umbra, a light speed entity. And the Anika are similar in stats to the Toa Nuva.
Tahu definitely got a leg up with that golden armor, but Kai's got way more speed amps, like Rising Dragon, Air Jitsu, and the Dragon Form. Speed goes to Kai.
However, while Kai was running circles around Tahu, the Toa's arsenal had plenty of counters.
Kai's packing flaming swords, wingsuits, supercars, motorcycles, and even a mech or two. All cool stuff, but Tahu can stop time.
Exactly. With all the Konohi masks plus the Krata powers, the Toa of Fire had plenty of abilities Kai did not have a direct answer for. In theory, the Mask of Time alone could nullify Kai's speed advantage.
Yeah, too bad it hurts real bad to use.
Ow.
Like, really, really bad. Just
Alright, so I got a disadvantage. Alright, yeah, I caught you in there. Alright.
one use almost took out Vakama. There's a reason why the Toa don't whip this out every time there's a new monster of the week.
So Tahu could not reliably depend on the Mask of Time for a win without serious risk of a self-KO. But he has dozens of other unique powers.
Also, how long can he keep time stop for, too? That's another thing I'm curious for. Or is it just stop for however long? Is it a thing that just keep... Is it a thing where it's just like... you can use it for as long as you can take until you're done, maybe? I don't know.
The masks of shielding, speed, and strength help him keep up with Kai. Add in golden armor powers like heat vision, quick healing, and improved accuracy, and Tahu has the wider arsenal. A lucky shot with disintegration could be enough to tip the scale.
If Kai didn't dodge with his way better speed. So this all comes down to power. Firepower!
Yes.
Tahu's Tahu's best move is the Nova Blast, which can wipe out a planet, but Kai's power created a freaking star. You know, classic ninja move. The Ninja Star!
Well, a star was made, that's been confirmed multiple times, but it was a team effort utilizing all the golden weapons. Kai's clearly not blasting people with the power of a star on a regular basis, but neither is Tahu with the Nova Blast, a move we technically have never actually seen reach planetary levels of destruction, only heard about.
Yeah, the Toei usually battle.
I was about to say, because if it can just go on a planet, and that was the best we could get, I was like, can we get like a better showing? I don't know.
Monsters that can break mountains, like the Borak, while Kai and Co. fight foes who tear apart the entire continent of Ninjago. It's not like Tahu was throwing hands with Super Mecha Makuta. That was Manui's job. Still, the Star and Nova Blasts are their absolute peaks.
A star's gravitational binding energy far exceeds that of a planet's. Even dividing it between the 4 weapons vastly exceeds any of Tahu's best showings.
And hey, Kai's still the one who lit the fire! His own flame can melt the golden weapons, and even this official guidebook confirms they've got the combined power of a star.
Wow.
That's right, Ninjago's got that epic lore too.
Furthermore, Tahu's FIYAH can reportedly melt any known substance. Giving benefit of the doubt and taking this literally, the material with the highest known melting point in the universe is tantalum hafnium carbide, an extremely rare compound that NASA likes to test rockets with because it doesn't melt until around 4,000 degrees Celsius. Extremely impressive.
Yeah, but when you're talking stars, melting point kinda goes out the window.
Indeed, initiating stellar fusion requires temperatures in excess of 4 million degrees. Far higher than anything Tahu has generated or survived. Certainly capable of overwhelming him, even with all his defenses.
So, the Red Ninja is bringing in a whole lot more firepower.
While it's possible Tahu's wider arsenal
And wasn't that thing also combined with all 4? Okay, whatever, you know. I'll
could
do some stuff myself.
and a victory, Kai's significant advantages.
I'm not disagreeing with the outcome. I just think the explanation's a bit shoddy, a bit. I don't know.
Speed and power means he wins this more often than not.
Kai took fire to a whole new level, and Tahu just had to let go.
The winner is the Red Ninja, Kai.
Alright, let's see who's next.
Next time on Death Battle.
Alright. Who are you? Oh, fuck. Oh.
Subscribe and join as a member to...
It's about fucking time. We get a good one. Jesus Christ. Because out of all the death battles that needed a fucking remake, this is the tippy top of the ones that need one the most. And it doesn't look like they're using Archie Shadow. They usually say Archie on there, so Mewtwo has a better chance. If it was Archie Shadow, Mewtwo would have no chance. Since it's regular Shadow, Mewtwo has a better chance. Will he win? I don't know. I gotta look at the scaling, because scaling with Pokemon is kind of weird, but scaling with Sonic is pretty crazy as well. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. But the knowledge I have is that it could go either way, but I'm pretty sure it goes to Shadow more times than Mewtwo, but hey, we'll find out. We'll find out with one that will actually be good, hopefully. I'm looking, it will be. That death battle was amazing, and I can only imagine what Shadow versus Mewtwo 2 is going to be like. I can only imagine. One thing I can definitely say for sure is that I have a good feeling that it's going to be better than that first one we got on that, because that's... Like, we've had some death battles, we've had some stinkers and everything, huge stinkers and everything, and we've also had our problems and everything. I don't think any of them is a bigger stinker than the first Shadow versus Mewtwo. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that one's so bad, I'm almost wanting to consider Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black death battle more respectable than that, and I fucking hate the existence of that. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, that's an actual thing. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? Go look. There actually is a death battle between Justin Bieber and Rebecca Black. Why did they do that? That was why? I try to forget that one, but then I remember. Oh yeah, there was one that was worse than that, and it's Shadow versus Mewtwo. Pretty sure Shadow's gonna win that one, but hey, we'll find out. Because while Pokemon is crazy as shit, and it definitely does have beings above Shadow, I'm not sure. I don't think Mewtwo's one of them. Yeah, I mean, Mewtwo nothing to scoff with, but I don't think he's up there on that. One thing I know is that it'll definitely be a better showing, because just about every remake Death Battle's done has been has topped the first one. Now, we had the Samus versus Boba Fett remaster, and that was really good. Then we had Master Chief versus Doomslayer, and that one was really good. And a wash. Poor Chief. Mario versus Sonic, that was another one. I don't know if Superman 2 and 3 counts, but each newer one was better than the first. Then again, the first one is pretty iconic too, so yeah. Point still stands. I think we'll at least get something better than that one. And by that, I mean something better than first Shadow vs. Mewtwo, because... Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now before I start going off. However, this video is already long enough. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, check out the original. It'll be linked down in the description below, as well as Death Battle. It'll be linked down below as well. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because it helps out a lot, and it's very much appreciated. And I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Last Death Battle, I said I was going to, I was originally going to, at the beginning of it, explain why Darth Vader versus Obito and Alucard versus Dio were both wrong and biased. But instead I spent that time, explaining how toxic the Genshin fandom was, and and the people in the comments did not do a good job at disproving me. Funny enough, I actually had to end up banning a couple people too. Some people were just spreading lies about me, and the one person who did argue, who actually wanted to argue that Genshin was, that wasn't toxic, couldn't even argue in good faith. Yeah. And if you're not going to argue in good faith with me, I'm just going to ban you. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Oh, and then I think I remember seeing someone say that toxicity is only on Twitter. Every toxic fandom says this, by the way. Every toxic fandom says it's only on Twitter. Every single one. There's always someone who says that about every toxic fandom. Well, I did find funny as hell. Some people were so offended at me calling Genshin a harem game, which it is, by the way. And then they're just like, shut the fuck up. I didn't even know I had that timer on there. I was talking to my phone right there, telling them to shut up. I thought it was funny how people got so offended at that, me just calling it out for what it is, and like, the best thing people could say in response to that was like, well, you want to see a real harem game? Go look at Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, and it's like, okay. And? Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves are real harem games filled with goon material. And? Why the hell you think I play it? I just think it's funny how they think it's some form of gacha whenever it's not. And by God, okay, it's a gacha game, that's not the point. I just found it funny, pretty much, yeah. But I'm not here to talk about that. I've talked about that for too long. Anyways, we're gonna get into the debates of, or arguments for Darth Vader versus Obito and, Alucard versus Dio, yeah. I'm gonna get Darth Vader versus Obito out of the way, because that one's gonna be quick because of something I found. Now, why is Darth Vader versus Obito? Well, it's not gonna be... Why is that gonna be quick? Well, it's not for the reason you think, or maybe it will. Something I found out about it is that, whenever a Star Wars character is used, we use, the expanded universe, or what Disney has dubbed as Legends, as, feats for them and everything, and feats, information, whatever you want to call it. And then suddenly, when we get to Darth Vader versus Obito, despite using one from there, we decide that we're just not going to use that, just to focus on current canon, apparently. And along doing that throws out any relevancy of that Legends feed, as well as any desire I had left to talk about that one, just because of that in general. Like, I want to argue that, but just from that alone, I just annoyed the shit out of me that I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Not because I'm wrong. I don't doubt Obito beats Disney Vader. It's Disney Vader. Disney has pretty much just turned, one of my favorite franchises into a piece of dog shit. Yeah, I've had to slowly watch it get neutered and cut down piece by piece. Kind of like Naruto fans whenever Boruto was made. Huh. Hey, there's some Star Wars and Boruto fans can relate to, yeah. Someone new comes by, and then your franchise turns into a piece of dog shit. Yeah. Like, I wanted to argue that, but after I heard that, I was just like... Like I said, any interest and desire left to debate that went out after saying that. Especially how we used, you know, Legends, which is now non-canon for Star Wars characters before, but then Darth Vader and Obito comes by, and now we're just really not, like... In fact, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of shifting over to Obito's side on that one, just because of that. Yep. For the sake of hating on Disney and how it's butchered one of my favorite franchises, fuck it, you know what, Obito wins, I don't care, Obito wins, yep, I don't care. I'll take the hell just to hate on the shit Disney's done, yep, I don't care anymore. Just from that alone, yep. There you go, Obito wins, that's it, I don't care anymore, I give up with that one, there you go, I'll take the L, just to hate on Disney, yep. And then that's over it, let's move on to the big one, in which, you know, I can actually still, you know, have my arguments for Alucard versus Dio. Alright, so there's a lot of hot takes I've seen on the arguments for both sides, and some cold takes, and some assumptions and everything. So let's go ahead and get some things out of the way that I've seen that kind of annoyed the hell out of me, and is also just blatantly wrong. One thing I saw is this is not just from, and I'm talking about things I saw from my comment section and from just arguments in general, because I don't look at arguments just in my comment section about this. Actually, there wasn't really much arguments for it. It was just when people really wanted to see explanation as to how Alucard does win, which, fair enough. There's some, but not much. But I wanted to see other arguments just in case I missed anything and all that stuff too, yeah. But one thing I saw that annoyed me is how one said Alucard cannot even harm Dio. I'm talking about Dio, not the world. Alucard can't harm the world. Only Stan can do that, and Personas, theoretically, yeah, but we're not using those. But I'm talking about Dio himself, which is the thought, but yeah, that was one that really pissed me off, is saying Alucard can't even damage Dio. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He absolutely can. You know how horrible Dio's durability is? Do you mean to tell me Alucard can't damage the body of the man whose leg got cut off by glass? Really? And yes, I'm calling Dio's durability shit, alright? And his durability is shit. The only reason he doesn't just die every time is because, you know, of how to take him out. Because as far as I know, there's only 3 ways to take out JoJo vampires, and that's from Hamon, exposing them to the sunlight, or destroying their head entirely. And by that, I mean specifically their brain. And yes, I mean entirely. You don't just damage it a bit, and then, you know, it's just... that. You gotta get rid of the whole thing, yeah. That's why Dio survived getting cut in half. It only sliced his brain in half, so he just put himself back together. Because, like, it was just right there. Yeah, just, you know, like I said, put himself together, and that's it, yeah. And that's another thing, is that Dio's regeneration is not as great as some people put out as well. But before I go into that, I should also mention Alucard's durability, yeah, equally as shitty, alright? Both of them, they're not doing too well on the durability side. Alright, let's be real. The only reason Dio wins in terms of durability is because of his stand. If he didn't have his stand, then he'd probably just be another run-of-the-mill vampire you deal with laser eyes and Hellsing, yeah. But that's not the case. He has his stand, and that's what makes him so threatening, yeah. Because take away the stand, I'm pretty sure even Alexander Anderson from Hellsing could take on Dio and win, yeah. But we're not doing that, alright? We're not weakening him, alright? Now, as for regeneration, Dio's regeneration, yeah, it is not that great, especially in comparison to Alucard's, alright? Man was just the head and had to steal Jonathan's body just because he couldn't regenerate a whole body, alright? He can't regenerate limbs, alright? He can definitely heal wounds and everything and put himself back together, but he can't grow back a new limb, alright? Meanwhile, Alucard, he can. He's pretty easy for him whenever his body's made out of flat black substance thingy. Yeah. He's been decapitated, had his head turned to blood, then grew a new one, lost the limbs and everything, grown it back, a bunch of other stuff. And then, of course, there's a shape-shifting that goes along with it too. Yeah, because regeneration was enough. We're like, yeah, he can also morph his body and everything too. And I'm just like... Then, of course, he has the souls, where if he actually does die, then, you know, one of the souls basically takes the fall and then brings him back. And he's got 3 million of those things. Over 3 million, like, just... So, yeah, durability and regeneration, not as great as you think. Yeah. Next up is speed, which, well, Dio mostly wins at that. Yeah. For all I know, Dio himself isn't that quick. His stand, that's another thing, yeah. Especially with the whole time stop thing, being able to stop time for, like, 9 to 11 seconds. It's either 9 or 11. I couldn't figure out how to... That or it was only 11 because Jotaro started his time stop in the midst of his... I don't know. Made it confusing, man. Originally was 5 seconds, and then he got, you know, Joseph's body, and now he's 9. Yeah, or 11. It's whatever. Which that pretty much, you know, just negates any type of speed advantage, you know, Alucard had in the first place, which trying to gauge Alucard's speed is kind of difficult because from what I've seen is that he doesn't really do much whenever it comes to speed terms. He usually kind of just stands there and kind of takes everything because, well, you know, he just knows he's got to regenerate back and everything, at least from everything I've seen. The best speed thing I could get was him catching Rip Van Winkle's catching the mouth in his mouth. Okay. Best speed feat I could get, well, specifically in reaction speed, was catching Rip Van Winkle's bullet in his mouth. That was the best I could get from that. And I also heard of Shadow Step. That's also a thing, yeah. Which I also can't get a proper speed gauge on, sadly. I tried, but I couldn't. Like I said, gauging speed for Alucard is hard, and because of that, I'm gonna say he has good reaction speed. As for speed itself, I couldn't really tell you. I'd say he's pretty fast. He could do that whole move around thing that Saris does, but I haven't seen him actually do that, so yeah. And the closest to seeing him himself do that was in the Walter fight, except that was Walter controlling the thing part of him now. Dio's speed himself, it probably isn't too great in comparison to Alucard. I mean, I'd still say it's higher, but probably not that great. The best I got from Dio moving around himself is cheetah speeds, but the world moving around, yeah, that's fast. The best physical feat I could find from Dio was the road roller, which, you know, throwing a road roller is impressive. You know, it's a goddamn road roller. Meanwhile, the best I could find for Alucard was, using his telekinesis to move that one downed aircraft carrier, and then also that thing he did with the fighter jet and the Rip Van Winkle thing, which I think he took over it corruption and then threw it at her or something. Was having trouble deciphering that. Alucard gives me some trouble whenever it comes to gauging his stuff. Like, remember that one time where they gave him that ability where, like, he just looked at 2 random people and they just died? And then that was just never explained again. Anyone remember that? Also, I found out that was an anime exclusive, by the way. I looked to see, because I looked in the manga to see what that was, just so I could get some context on, like, how the hell that happened. Maybe I could find something. Didn't even happen on a manga from what I saw. Went to that exact scene, and I'm like, why didn't it happen? Like, why are we just throwing that in there? And even then, I'm not gonna say that's gonna be an instant win con, because, like, seeing something like that and just having almost no explanation for it, I'm not gonna just say, boom, that's how he wins. No. The best gauging I can give of that ability is, like, maybe it working somewhat similar to, like, spiritual pressure from Bleach, but being an extremely weaker version of it. That's the best I can gauge that at. Fairly, anyways, yeah. And no, I do not think it would even damage Dio, no. But while I put Dio at higher physical strength, I don't think that really matters too much. I think the fact that matters is that both of them are strong enough to actually damage each other, and that's all you really need. Because, like I said, both of their durability, pretty shitty. Alucard gets damage from normal gunfire, which makes sense. Dio gets his leg cut up by glass. Yeah. So yeah, both characters can absolutely damage each other. One has the impenetrable shield, that is, being the world stand, and then one of them can regenerate 3 million times, yeah. Or come back 3 million times. He can already regenerate without it. He just needs to actually have the souls to come back in case he ever gets put down, and then comes back, yeah. And this is where some arguments come in, which is, you know, level 0, which he can't even use that on his own. He can't even use that on his own. He can use levels 4 through 1 by himself. Level 0, no. He needs Integra for that. So I don't know why the hell we're just, you know, having him just, you know, use it off rip just like that whenever he can't. Yeah. And a little off note, I actually find level 0... Well, level 0 was definitely cool and menacing as shit. It was honestly kind of disappointed whenever I look back at it. Because one, it makes him vulnerable because he gets rid of all of his souls. He can still regenerate, but, you know, still just gotta pierce the heart and all that. But he can't come back if he actually dies or anything, yeah. Then, of course, the Ocean of Blood, which, yeah, that's totally gonna power up Dio. I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that, yeah. Like, unless it's supposed to be, like, toxic added into it, like some Yuji shit, but, that's not happening. At least not to my knowledge. But I doubt his blood is toxic, yeah. Otherwise, I don't think he would have asked Saris to drink his blood at the beginning either. In fact, I'll even say this. The way Death Battle did it, have, Alucard go level 0, release all of his souls, have Dio destroy the army, and then destroy his heart, and then him. Yeah, you could win that way. In fact, that's pretty much the only way Dio does win. By having him use the thing that Alucard can't even use by himself. Nor would he actually use against him. Why wouldn't he use level 0 against Dio, you ask? Well, simple. He's not human. No. Alucard wants his heart to be slain by a regular human. Not a vampire. And I don't think it's going to take long for Mr. I revoke my humanity to figure out he's a vampire. Yeah, and the fangs too. And because of that, the fight, you know, is not going to end anytime soon. Because, you know, Dio's got to go through 3 million lives. And, you know, 3 million's a lot of lives, alright? And you can't turn that into a battle of attrition, because eventually, when that happens, the sun eventually comes out. And, well, when the sun comes out for Alucard, from what I know, is that he just gets a bit tired and everything. And that's pretty much it. What happens to Dio when exposed to sunlight? Oh yeah, instant death. Yeah, so he can't turn this into a battle of attrition, so yeah. And then it gets even harder with, you know, Alucard's goddamn misform and everything as well, which just, you know, can't even touch that. And even then, let's not act like Alucard wouldn't get in a few hits anyways, just because of Dio's arrogance, too. Because his arrogance has screwed him over plenty of times. So while he definitely has that super fast, impenetrable shield being the world and the time stop and everything, eventually he's gonna get hit. His arrogance has gotten the best of him before, it will do so again. And of course, Dio can, you know, just take some of his blood and, you know, power up himself, but that's still not stopping, you know, Alucard getting an instant win from destroying his entire head. Yeah. Which, you know, he's not gonna go for that at first. Like, see, whenever he does get a first hit in, he's not gonna go for that, because the difference between the Hellsing and JoJo vampires is that at Hellsing vampires' weak spot is the hearts, meanwhile, JoJo vampires' weak spot is their brain. Now, but yeah, he won't go for the head immediately, but he definitely will at some point. They tend to have Hellsing characters tend to have a habit of going for either the head or the heart. They definitely go for the heart first. Hence why, you know, at the beginning, whenever he used level 1 at the beginning of the Dio versus Alucard death battle, you know, he went straight for his mid. Yeah. And again, going back to the durability thing, Dio should not be able to take chomps from the devil dog thing, and then, you know, just not be torn in half. Like, that should have, like, when that landed on him, he should have been having his mid absolutely torn up and been just, you know, a top half and severed legs. Granted, that wouldn't end the fight, but, it definitely hindered Dio quite a bit. I'm just imagining him being carried up by the arms by the world the whole time. You know, like those baby straps people walk around with like they're carrying their babies around? Yeah, I kind of just imagine it like that with Dio's top half. And like I said, his regeneration ain't exactly helping that, especially whenever, you know, the dog thing is, you know, eating part of him. It is a bite attack after all. And even then, Alucard can distract him by, you know, like having a part of his body severed off and using it as a distraction, like he did when his fight with Walter with Luke Valentine. That was his name, right? Luke Valentine. There's a blonde zippy fucker in the second episode. Yeah. Valentine brother in the white suit, blonde hair. Yeah. Used him as a decoy and then, you know, get a sneak attack on Dio, which happens quite a bit. Can do that a few times, probably. Kind of hard to tell who's who whenever, you know, Alucard can just straight up change his appearance. Yeah, because the shape-shifting and everything, yeah, that does pretty much help a lot. And then there's one other argument I want to get into, which is the hypnosis thing. Which is, you know, we definitely have some arguments on that one, and both of them can hypnotize each other, alright? Both of them can, and all they have to do is look at you, and also their hypnosis isn't exactly, you know, explored much. But both of them can hypnotize just from looking at you, or from Dio putting his bodily fluids, drinking your blood, or putting his body shit in you with the flesh buds and shit. And then, of course, Alucard, all he has to do is look at you, and then that's pretty much it. Now, do I think he could hypnotize Dio just from looking at him? Not really sure, because hypnotism is a thing where it's, you know, you impose your will onto weaker-willed people, and then, you know, you control their minds, and neither Dio or Alucard are people I would call weak-willed. Then Alucard has his resistances to hypnosis as well. Well, but at the same time, those resistances aren't exactly entirely concrete, because, you know, the third eye helps with mental attacks and everything, and, well, hypnosis is usually a mental attack, but we've never seen Alucard get hypnotized before, or anyone try to attempt it. Same with Dio. And then I also think that, you know, his whole pact with Integra would get in the way as well, but at the same time, that's speculation, because, like I said, no one's ever actually tried hypnotizing Alucard or Dio. Then the flesh buds came to think, which, you know, they gotta connect to your body and, you know, infect your mind, and, I'm no anatomy expert, but seeing Alucard's body being made of black substances, that black substance thing, and, you know, being able to shapeshift it, I'm gonna go on a limb and say, no, I don't think that's gonna work. I'm not sure if Dio would even actually try to hypnotize someone mid-fight. I don't think I've ever seen him try that, so I don't know if he's gonna try that. And even then, I'd rather not have the outcome decided on a factor that we're not even sure would actually work. Like, neither characters have ever been hypnotized before, so I don't want to say either or's ability is gonna work on each other when we're not even sure if it actually would, alright? So I wouldn't even just factor that in. Especially since, you know, from what I know is that Alucard has a layered mind with, like, the souls and everything. Hell, saw someone say that, you know, maybe, you know, maybe that one of the souls will take the fall for it or something. I don't know if, like I said, I don't even know if that would happen or not. Because like I said, it's never been done before. So if you want my personal opinion, I just cut the hypnosis thing out entirely because we're just going off of assumptions and speculation that either or could work on each other. I'm going to say no and just not do that. Yeah. Like, and even if it's more so in Alucard's favor because, you know, possibility of the third eye and, Integra's pact, you know, possibly giving him resistances, possibly. Because at least he has something to go off of. Dio has nothing to defend against that. That's from my knowledge, so I'm gonna say no. Now, I'm just gonna not use that at all, yeah. Like, we're gonna be fair with that. Let's not do that. And then I saw some people saying that Dio wouldn't use his vampire powers. Well, it is true that Dio doesn't really use his vampire powers, like, much anymore. From what I know is that he doesn't use them because he views them as beneath him, and ever since he got the stand. But I don't think that's any reason to say he couldn't use them still. Like the laser eye thingies, the freezing, and obviously the healing and everything. Enhanced abilities and all that stuff. Yeah, there's no reason to suggest that he couldn't, alright? Do I think he would use them? Not off rip. He's got to stand. But he totally can use them. I mean, there's no reason to suggest he can't. And it also makes sense that he doesn't use them anymore whenever, you know, those abilities don't exactly help too much on other stands. So, yeah, because, like, laser eyes, ice isn't really going to affect another stand. He's got to use the world for that. And some people saying that Dio's time stop is unlimited. Brother, it's got, like, a time limit of, like, 9 to 11 seconds. Let's be real. Oh, yeah, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but anything from Eyes of Heaven, including Dio Over Heaven, is not to be used in this debate, mainly because Eyes Over Heaven isn't canon, so yeah, we're not going to use that. Not gonna lie, I thought I had to eat my words on the verdict for a bit when Dio Over Heaven was brought up, and then finally found out that was not canon, so yeah, we're not using that. Speaking of which, was that what they were measuring whenever they gave Dio those overbloated ass stats in the death battle? Were they measuring that? And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. I mean, they gave Giorno an anti-feat based off the same damn game whenever it came to Giorno versus Joker, so it wouldn't surprise me. Now, where'd I leave off of? Jesus, this is turning longer than I would have liked it to. Oh yeah, then of course Alucard has his telekinesis, which, you know, while Alucard has no counter for Dio's The World, Dio has no defense against Alucard's telekinesis, and from what I've seen, that thing's definitely strong enough to send Dio flying face first into a wall. His telekinesis is strong enough to move an aircraft carrier, and I highly doubt Dio's going to be heavy enough for it to not work anyways. Like, what's stopping him from pulling like an Ermac fatality and just smashing him face down head first? Nothing's really stopping that. Granted, that wouldn't put him down entirely, because, you know, you got to destroy the brain entirely, but he still has no defenses against that, yeah. And then, of course, like I said, you can't do the battle of attrition because the sunlight comes out. And please do not use the cop-out of Dio running away and then coming back later, because if that's the case, Alucard's gaining more souls while that's happening there, or hunting him down. Yeah. And for what I know, his telekinesis doesn't exactly have anything specific other than, you know, move people and objects with your mind, and he has a pretty good strength on that, yeah. I also saw the possibility of him possibly using it on the, Ocean of Blood. I'm not sure if that he actually did or if that's blood manipulation. So I can't really tell. If it's blood manipulation, then argument's over. If he did use telekinesis, then he moved an Ocean of Blood, that's enough. Yeah, I mean, he already has enough force to send Dio flying into a wall, like, face first, or, you know, damaging his brain and everything, but like, we don't need more. But if he did, then, well, it helps, though. Yeah, Dio has no counter for that, just like how Alucard has no counter for, you know, the Zawardo. Which, that's Dio's biggest thing here, is the stand. Which, you know, that is what makes, you know, this, you know, a hard fight for Alucard in the first place. Because, like I said, take it away, this isn't really that hard. hard, even with the laser ripper things, yeah. Which I'm not even sure if he actually can spam. He probably can because, you know, but at the same time, I'm not sure because, you know, it uses body fluids and, you know, eventually you run out if you just keep on spamming it, but he could also just gain more just by, you know, getting some blood and just regenerating it. So, you know, maybe he could spam it, or at least use it at a pretty fast rate. Even if it damaged the eye, it kind of heals right back right after using it. Yeah, so, you know, the eye, so the people saying it would just blow out his eyes and wouldn't be able to use it anymore, no, he can, it heals right after that. Okay, I want to wrap this up as soon as possible. So, both of them are strong enough to hurt each other, and then Dio, you know, outclasses Alucard whenever it comes to speed, because, well, speed and because of the world. But Alucard, but, you know, arrogance, Alucard could distract him with his shape-shifting of cutting off his limbs and everything, like he did with the Walter fight. Telekinesis has 0 defense against that as well. And there's also a chance it might stay active too, because like Hamon powers were still active when he froze time. I don't see a reason why telekinesis could. Like he could be holding him up in the air and then, you know, freeze time still being held up there. But he could just end that by having the world punch him and then, you know, time resumes. And then boom, he's out of it. But then he just comes back because 3 million souls is a lot. No. I definitely agree that Dio wins the way they did it, you know. If you make Alucard make himself durable, getting rid of his main regeneration thing, and then have Dio destroy his heart and then his body, then yeah, Dio wins. But he wouldn't do that. Zero can't be activated on his own, needs Integra, and then he'd never leave himself vulnerable against someone like Dio, because you know, he wants to be slain by a human, not Mr. I give up my humanity. Without the world, this would have been really easy pretty much, but he has the world, which having the world definitely makes it a lot more hard for Alucard. It goes from, you know, what would have been basically just a vampire with a crazy ability in Hellsing, laser eyes, ice, and everything, into a much higher annoyance. Yeah, I highly doubt Alucard would even want to use level 0 on that. I highly doubt, and he can't even on his own. And I don't want outside, and I'd rather not have an outside interference into a death battle between 2 people. No, I don't want a Spider-Man 2099 thing. Not disagreeing with the outcome of that. Actually, not sure if that's accurate or not, but that's not the point. And at least when they did that with Dante versus Bayonetta, at least they both had one coming in to make it somewhat fair. All right. Not saying level 0 makes it unfair, because, you know, if anything, it just hindrances Alucard, but that's not the point. Point is that this turns into a way longer fight where both of them, well, more so Alucard is going to have to use his brain more to, you know, beat Dio, which, you know, not impossible. He's not, neither characters are exactly dumb. In fact, I'd say they're both pretty arrogant. Well, Dio more so than Alucard. Actually, I'm not really sure if I'd call well, I don't know. It depends on whether you wanted to deem playing with this food as arrogant. I guess it could be, you know. Dio could also lock in too, and, you know, do really well, but Alucard can literally just drag this thing out until either the sun kills him or until he eats him, or the telekinesis does it from slamming him face first into a wall. Like, Dio could totally get through, you know, the army of souls from with time stop, being able to continuously use the blood to heal back and gain more energy and everything, and the space rippers and all that stuff, but that wouldn't happen because, like I said, with the whole thing. And then, of course, you know, he's gonna have to go through soul one by one with Alucard, which drags out the fight a lot. And just because the fight gets dragged out doesn't exactly, you know, what's the word? I was gonna say something, but I don't know. Fight would be dragged out, but that doesn't really matter. You can still make an animation could still be made to, you know, shorten it down and then, you know, explain that. We've always discussed other outcomes of winning the fight, but, you know, yeah, Alucard wins because he could drag it out or get a sneak attack on him, or Dio's arrogance gets him, telekinesis, stuff like that. If it was a fight between them two where Alucard only has 1 life, then yeah, Dio wins. If it was a fight where we just, for some reason, have Alucard use level 0 without, you know, the proper requirements to use it being met, and then, you know, making him vulnerable, and yeah, Dio wins. That's pretty much the only way he does anyway. And both of them are going to learn more about each other as the fight drags out. I mean, there's no way not to. Like I said, these characters aren't dumb. They're not dumb. They'll definitely figure some stuff out between each other, right? Alucard to find out that going for the heart doesn't work, and probably most likely go for the head net. Dio will most likely eventually lock in, and most certainly, probably, hopefully, use his vampire powers, yeah. I wouldn't use the hypnosis argument, because like I said earlier, not sure if either would work, and I'd rather not, you know, yeah, have the winning winner of the death battle be decided on an assumption that we're not even sure is real. And honestly, I'm kind of glad Alucard wouldn't be able to use level 0 on his own because, like I said earlier, I don't think I went into detail. Level 0 is kind of disappointing to me because, like, well, getting the army and everything and all that, and using his own other souls of things he has, Dandy Man, Rip Van Winkle, other stuff like that was definitely interesting and all that. I think I would have preferred like a giant apocalypse vampire dog thingy instead that resembled Cerberus or something maybe, but whatever, I guess. Oh yeah, and then there's Schrodinger, and there's this misconception I'm seeing of Schrodinger where Alucard loses all of his powers in exchange for Schrodinger. This statement is half true. He would lose any powers or familiars he has, or anything that requires soul to have, or have. Other than that, he would still retain, other powers, and enhance, supposed enhanced speed, regeneration, hypnotism, and telekinesis. The very thing I was talking about. I also saw some arguments that Alucard would be able to resist the time stop because of Schrodinger, and the best case scenario I can think of that is being, hiding in his memories like Schrodinger did in Sarah's fight against what was her name, Zoran? Yeah, whenever Schrodinger did that, which, for those saying that you can't really do that because Alucard's never done that, you literally just take whatever Schrodinger does and just apply it to Alucard. If Schrodinger can do it, so can Alucard. It's not that hard. Then he'll still have access to his guns and everything too, which exploding bullets, that helps quite a bit. Hell, he was literally seen using his regeneration after Integra shot him with the whole black substance thingy after coming back. So saying he just lose all of his powers is just only half right. Now, he still retains any natural powers. Anything he gains through, like, the soul thing, then yeah, that's gone. But his natural powers that comes naturally with being vampire, no, those are staying. And then, of course, he used the same argument as, outlast Dio until the sun. So yeah, or the telekinesis, that also worked. Then because, that or, just being harder to hit as with the Schrodinger stuff too. Because, everywhere and nowhere is, everywhere and nowhere. Yeah, all at once. Yeah. Alright, I'm trying to think if I missed anything, because this explanation is getting way too long. This is a half-hour explanation. Jesus Christ. Thought this was going to be quick. It was not. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, I'll put something down in the comments. And, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this, yeah. I don't know, do you find my reasoning acceptable? Yes, no, maybe so? I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm too tired to do any more of this shit now. I want to go ahead and put this to bed and play more Palworld, so I'm going to do that. So, yeah. I don't know, let me know what you think. See ya.